Hey guys, this is MattKids101. Today I'm going to be showing you how to get the listings of a directory through your application and how to display it in an NS table view. NS table view in the Mac is very similar to UI table view on the iPhone, except that it has a very subtle difference to it. So if you've done C before, you know that getting the contents or listing of a directory isn't that simple. But in Objective-C, doing it is just one line away. So I'm going to go into Xcode. I'm going to just demonstrate how to get the listings of a directory by making a terminal application that does it. So I'm going to go to Command Line Utility Foundation Tool, and I'm going to make a new project called Lister. And Lister is just going to have a lister.m, and that's where we're going to put our simple code to list the directory. So in here, we're going to declare a new NS array. I'll just call it listings. And we're going to assign it to be NS file manager, default manager, directory contents at path, slash, and then, so that slash is the path, it's just the root directory. And then we're going to declare an int I. We're just going to say for I equals 0, I less than listings count I plus plus, and here's where we're going to nslog I, basically. Listings object at index I. And so here we go. If I look into the console, run this, it's going to print us every single thing in slash, including hidden files. So as you see there by that little project, that's a terminal application. It's very easy to get listings of a directory. But how do we basically put it into a great GUI application? I'm just going to create a new project that's going to be an application, Cocoa application, and I'm going to call it list.dir GUI, or GUI. So now under classes, I'm going to make a new file, Cocoa, Objective-C class, and I'll call it app controller. And this is what I'm going to be using to talk to my interface builder. And so under this, in the interface, we're going to add an IB outlet for an NS table view, and I'll call it table view 1. We're going to have an IB outlet for an NS text field, and I'll call it text field 1. And I'll have an NS mutable array, which I will call array 1. And so table view 1 is going to be our table view that has a list of every file in the path. Text field 1 is going to be where the user types the path. And then NS mutable array, array 1, is going to be what has the contents of the current directory. Then we're going to add one IB action, and that will be list directory link ID sender. So I'll just put this in the implementation down here, so that way we can do this. So first of all, this is a lot different than you might think it would work. It's not as simple as, say, table view 1 set objects, or table view 1 add object, remove object, stuff like that. You have to do something similar to a delegate with table view 1 called a data source. And when you set the data source on table view 1, it looks for certain methods in its data source. For instance, it will look for this method in its data source. It will look for a number of rows in table view. So in this case, we're going to return array 1 count, because we want the contents of this table view to be whatever in array 1. So this is how it knows how much stuff is in the table view and how much stuff to look for. And then it's going to look for another method, not so short and sweet, called basically object value for table column. And this is it asking what's at this place in the table view. And so all we have to return here is, I'm going to cast it to be an NS string, array 1 object in index row, because we're giving it whatever's in array 1. So this is also very easy. And now, in our awake from nib, we're going to set the data source of table view 1 to be self. So that way it looks here for all of them. So now we have it hooked up, so whenever it gets reloaded, it'll look in array 1 for all its objects. And to refresh it, you just say reload data right there. And that'll just make it try reloading data, in this case based on array 1. So we're going to call that at the bottom of when they click this directory. So first of all, we're going to remove all the objects that are already in our array 1, and we're going to auto-release array 1, just a memory management thing. And now we're going to set array 1 to be the directory listing, or the new directory listings of what they're trying to look at. So say array 1 equals ns mutable array alloc init with array, and here's where you can say ns file manager default manager directory contents at path, and now I'll say text field 1 string value. So that's easy. So now array 1 will be the listings of the directory. The reason we don't just assign it to be ns file manager, etc., is because that returns a regular array, but array 1 in this case is an ns mutable array, not just an ns array. So that's the distinguishable difference. And now we're going to do the table view 1 reload. So that's it. So now if we just go in and edit the simple interface, we're practically done. So the interface is pretty straightforward. It has a button, text field, and the table view, I believe, is way up here. And so if I put this all together, it'll actually be a pretty cool application. So there we go. I will set it to have one column, and I'll kind of drag this one over here and get rid of that. And so now all we have to do is drag over our friendly blue object and link it all up. So we're going to call this app controller. We're going to link app controller with this. Link app controller with this. And we're going to link this button to app controller. Now we will be able to run it, type slash, click the button, and see what's at slash. You can do the same for slash applications, see what's in there. So this is how to get the listings of a directory and put it in an NS table view. Hope you learned something. If you didn't, please ask us questions. Anyway, thanks for watching MacHeads 101. Expect great things, and goodbye.